Okay, so mine's exploding. First thought is, things occurred when you realized what was most important.
Correct.
Did that have something to do with looking at that phone and saying, I want to use it to add value to my life, not take away from value in my life?
Oh, absolutely. You got to use technology for, you got to take advantage of the shortcuts that it actually gives you, not make it more part of a long, drawn-out process. And I feel like a lot of people actually do. It's more of a hindrance than it is an advantage for some people. To me, it's the day the iPhone came out, it was like an epiphany. Wow, I can copy and paste this website and text it to somebody, and it was like, boom. I'm like, instead of me taking grainy pictures on a Nextel, phone and sending it to somebody, text message became, 30 times easier when you actually had a keyboard and type it out. I never had a BlackBerry. I wasn't a BlackBerry guy. So my text messages were, to get to C, you had to tap 1, 3 times or 2, 3 times and go through it. As soon as I got the iPhone, it was like, wow. So, I started texting my customers probably the day that the iPhone came out rather than calling or emailing.
The day it came out?
The day it came out, I was like, man, I had the first iPhone the day it came out. I'm like, this thing is just going to change the way I do business.
Where do you think, was it a mentor? Was it something you had read? Was it from past experiences?
Well, it was things that I was trying to do. I mean, the iPhone, what is it, 10 years old now, 11 years old, somewhere in there. So, 10, 11 years ago, I mean, all my friends, we would barely talk on the phone unless it's like one of my real good friends. We get a text message, hey, you going out tonight? Hey, where are you going to be? So everything was text message, and I can answer, 10 text messages during the day, even when I was a customer, and not feel like I was being ignorant, taking a phone call, hey, can you hold on? So to me, everybody's at work or, hanging out with their family or something like that, might not be able to have a 10-minute conversation with me and, push me to voicemail and maybe not call me back. Email, I check email now maybe 3 times a day. I'll check my text messages 3,272 times already today.
Today?
Yeah, basically. I mean, you're on your phone all day, right? So 10, 11 years ago, I decided, man, I'm going to start texting my customers. This is awesome. And, at first I'm like, I'll just text, the younger people because, they'll want it. And then, I'm like, hey, my dad, not that you're old, but my dad, hey, he gets a text message, you know what I mean? So I just started sending everybody text messages, and it was unbelievable, the response rate that I would get back, so people would actually get back to me right away, or at least they would get back to me that day, at some point, rather than, sending me an email or, something like that. So,
so you had been in the business about almost 10 years at the time.
Correct.
iPhone comes out, and you say, hey, this is going to be more effective.
Absolutely.
People probably will rather answer it's convenient.
Absolutely.
Why not try it? So 100%. You tried it with people that you figured would be
the demographic that I thought would, be more responsive to it,
And then you just kept. You saw a result. How quickly did you see a result? Like, did it convert into opportunity?
Yeah, right away.
Wow.
Right away, especially if somebody had an iPhone, because then they would actually see, the picture, or I could actually email the videos that I was doing. It would be a short video because it wouldn't take, much at that time.
It wouldn't take a video like of a car.
Yeah, sure. You could walk around a car, take a video, send it to somebody. Because back then it was
email to them
right because it was pretty tough to copy and paste stuff off of a website back then, unless you were emailing it from a computer. So once I got the iPhone and I was mobile, I'm like, man, this going to revolutionize the way I do business.
Wow.
I thought.
Prior to that piece of technology, where were you mentally and from a result base in your business? You're 10 years in.
10 years in, I was probably selling
you're still a good guy.
40. Oh, yeah, definitely a good guy.
I think so.
I think so, Selling 40-some, maybe 40-some, maybe some months hitting 50 cars a month. But and everybody's patting me on the back and telling me how good I'm doing. But I always would think that my mental state was there's so much more, at this point. And people are still, nowadays, they're like, man, you're selling 100 cars. I just did this thing, this little conference with Sean Bradley, our mutual friend. He's awesome. And all these general managers and owners and dealer principals are there, and they're like, man, it's unbelievable. You're doing 100 cars. And all I'm thinking about is how do I get to 150, because there's time in the day for me. I'm not busy all day, every day. Here we are, taking an hour out of time. It's not a big deal. So, to me, when I hear salespeople complain that they don't have time, how could they possibly do it? And I look, and you're selling 18 cars a month. Well, what are you doing with your time? Your time management either is really off, or you're just using that as your excuse, why you can't grow your business. In my mind.